think is going to be really helpful. I always hope that's the case, but just like really, this just this just hits for you, right? Because I know there are so many moms. This one's, maybe for the dads, but it's mainly for the moms, I think, out there experiencing the mom guilt. And share a little story here before I like dive into the meat of this episode. But I was training a client this morning, and we were just talking about the language we use when we talk about our time as moms, and maybe even as go as far to say as females. And the example she was giving was that, like, she was talking with her husband and she found herself always saying the word just, where she's like, hey, I'm just going to go up and take a quick shower, or hey, I'm just going to go do this, or writing an email and being like, just wondering, or like, again, just like, I just used it there, but like softening or mitigating or rushing the thing that she was like telling or asking. Hopefully I didn't lose you there. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I can think of a lot of instances in my life when I do this same thing in a different way. Right. So like I'll be at the gym. Chris knows I'm at the gym. We've already like ironed out time for me to go to the gym. He's with the baby. I know what time I need to be back by in order for him to go do his thing. If it's a night where we're both training, like all of this stuff is already figured out. And I still feel the need to text him and be like, hey, I just have one more set. Or, hey, I'm just, finishing up in the next 5. Like, why do I do that? It like stresses me out, and I like make myself feel, I get this feeling of guilt, I guess, right? Of this like rushed, I need to rush even though I don't. Or like if I do need to rush, I know what exact time I need to be back by. Like, it's crazy, right? And it was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speak for the dads out there, but like, I don't know if this is a thing. And if it is, like, please be vocal about it and make us feel like it's not just us. Because we just like have this like underlying feeling of like, you know, maybe guilt around taking time for ourselves, or I should be doing something else with my time, or I feel bad, or like my time needs to be rushed. Instead of like sitting down and having a meal, I'm grabbing bites and eating it over the counter because I also feel compelled to do the dishes and the laundry and everything else that's staring at me. Maybe hesitating to ask for help because we see everyone else doing all of the things, so why shouldn't we be able to do all of the things? And I 1,000,000% get that. I have to work very, very hard on a probably very close to daily basis to ignore some of that other shit that can be ignored to prioritize myself in some way, shape, or form. Be it something as small as like, I deserve to sit down and eat lunch. I know the dishwasher needs to be unloaded. I know the living room looks like a bomb went off. But I also know that I only have 15 minutes before I have to be working again, and I need to take this time to chill the fuck out and eat my meal. It's not always easy to do. And I have to like literally talk myself through like who cares if the living room is a mess right now? It doesn't need your attention. The dishwasher can be unloaded later. Like, none of these things are a pressing an emergency, but you not nourishing yourself and sitting down and eating a fucking meal is. Right? But again, it's not easy. And you may have to like literally talk yourself through it. And again, I don't know if this is just a mom thing. Mom guilt is a thing that's talked about all the time, so that's what I'm gonna, I'm using that here today. But like, maybe It's not just for moms, right? But after some digging around and some research on the internet, there is some science behind it, right? And there are some external factors that are perpetuating this narrative that's going on, right? This, like, something that we've been made conditioned to feel for arguably a pretty, really, really long time. Pretty, really, really long time. Super fresh, professional. But you know what I'm trying to say. So why do we feel guilty, right? Again, we've got those, like, the little annoying voice in our head that's like, you can't sit down on the couch and relax for 5 minutes because you need to unload. I'm going to just always use the unload the dishwasher as the example here because mine is perpetually needing to be unloaded. Or putting the laundry away. I could do the laundry and 7 times out of 10 fold it on the same day, but it almost never gets put away at the same time. Almost never. And that's, like, it feels stupid to even say that and, like, silly saying it out loud, but it's just how it goes. There's always something else going on, and I'm like, yeah, that could wait. Like, it's not high on the list for me. If I need to go downstairs and pluck clothes out of the hamper or pluck them off the folding table, then so be it. The baby's clothes I always make sure to put away. But me, Chris, we don't care. But regardless, there's always something looming in the back of our minds, something pressing that we feel like we need to do, we feel called to do, we feel guilty that if we don't do it, right? And again, conditioned to probably get to this point, right? That somewhere along the way, we were taught that in order to be a good parent, a good mom, you need to sacrifice everything. Your entire life is going to change. You're no longer the priority. And while, yes, to some degree, like, this is true, your life is very, very different and is absolutely going to change. And you aren't in the number 1 spot all the time. But that doesn't mean you should be the number 10 spot. Or not even on the fucking list. Right? And I will always preach that method or that message. We always need to be available, right? We always put the kids first, always, always, always. If we even think about prioritizing ourselves, others may think it's selfish, or we may feel like it's selfish. This is just really not the case, right? But I know it's definitely familiar and very, very common, right? But think about it this way. If we never take the time for ourselves, if we never say, mom's going to work out first, and then we go to the playground, if that never happens, one, we're probably just going to raise spoiled children that think they need to get whatever they want, whenever they want, the second they ask for it. Facts, in my opinion. But we're also we're going to burn ourselves out. Not going to probably, like, we are going to burn ourselves out. And is that the version we want to be showing up for in our family with our children? I know it's not. I know you don't want to be the tired, cranky, moody parent that just sits and scrolls on their phone at the playground. It's not who you want to be. You want to be the mom on the swings, pumping her legs next to her kid, or chasing them around the playground, or climbing the climbing wall, or playing tag, or, right? And that isn't going to happen if you're burnt to a crisp, because you always put everyone else's needs before your own. You never do anything for yourself. You deem everything that is for you as selfish, and you don't think it's important. That's the version that you're going to show up as. How could you not? Right? But you want, and they need the energized parent, the healthy and present parent, right? Like, you taking care of yourself and you prioritizing your health is you investing in them and their future. I have a very sick parent. And I gotta tell you, it's annoying and frustrated, to say the least, especially when it is from their own doing in a lot of ways via health choices and lifestyle choices. It's so frustrating as the kid to see that. And I know you don't want that. But if you don't take this time to invest in yourself and do these things, it's going to happen. Whether it happens now or 20 years down the road, it's going to happen. And you are actually creating more of a burden for them in their future by trying to do it all now. I'm going to say that again. You are creating more of a burden for them in the future by not taking the time to invest in yourself now, by trying to do it all. You think that's the way and you're helping them. And it may, in the present moment, seem or feel like you are, but you're actually making shit worse. And I say that from a place of love, not for you to be like listening to this and being like, oh, add that to the list of things I'm doing wrong. No, but you're important and you matter and you need to take this time to take care of yourself. What that looks like right now, I don't know. Where are you at? What next step can we take? That may be a 10-minute walk with the kids because you're by yourself and you don't have anyone to watch them. Go do it. Do something. If not for you right now, for your kids, for your partner. Oh my God, let's not forget about them. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be or have the partner that is constantly tired and never has energy to do anything. That can't go on a random bike ride on the rail trail with me and the kids. I only have one kid right now. Jesus, oh my God. One child. 3 dogs though. The partner that's just like always blah because they feel like shit. And again, this is a personal thing, but like I don't find it particularly attractive if someone doesn't want to take care of themselves to any degree, in any way, shape, or form. It's a turn off. I don't know. Does that make me a bad person? I don't think so. But it's just how I feel, right? And again, I'm not saying this for you to feel bad about yourself, but I am saying this as hopefully a wake-up call that you shouldn't feel guilty. And here's a laundry list of reasons why, right? But it doesn't change the fact that it still may feel really freaking hard to do. Let's acknowledge that and kind of work through it, right? Because again, you probably know a lot of these things, right? It still feels really hard, Ashley. I don't know what to do, right? And this is where a little bit of the science comes in, and I did some researching. And this is called, this thing that we're talking about, this internal conflict, why things are feeling so hard, even though we know we need to take care of ourselves, is actually called cognitive dissonance. When your thoughts and feelings are basically at war with one another. You think something differently, right? You know all of these things and your actions and feelings don't match, right? You know moving your body will help your energy and mood. You know that eating real meals, not just bites of your kids' food or snacks from the pantry, will make you feel better, will help you lose the weight, will help you gain confidence. You know taking 10 minutes to breathe, go for a walk, reset, will help you be more patient. But why do I feel like I should be doing something else with my time? It's not the right time right now. I'll catch up on my shit later. Why does that happen despite knowing how powerful these other things can be? And this disconnect between our thoughts and feelings is something that moms, again, in my experience, get really, really stuck on and stuck with. So I want you to kind of think about things like this. Very small mindset shift. A question I ask myself all the time. I'll give you another real world practical application. And that is, at the end of the night, after a long day, right? Be it cranky kids, we went to the playground, just a long day. We're tired. I need to go into the specifics. Fill in the blank. Work, kids, etc. Dinner's done. All I want to do is relax. The baby's put down. I just want to chill. But before I let my butt sit on that couch, because I will not get off, I put dinner away, clean that up, load and unload the dishwasher. Told you this is can be used for so many stories. Load and unload. It's not always both. Usually is though. And set the coffee pot for the next morning. It's my evening non-negotiables, and I do it because I know future me is going to be really thankful when she comes down in the morning and she's starting her day and she's not left with dirty, disgusting dishes in the sink, food out or just haphazardly put away, and no coffee to boot. Literally my worst nightmare. Right? So instead of always looking at things and thinking about, do I have time for this, or should I be doing this, or should I be doing something else? Start to think about future you and how these things that you do for yourself will be helpful for them, right? Because that's what these deposits, that's who these deposits really are for. Again, going back to the example that we were talking about earlier, is if you're not prioritizing your health and well-being and doing things that pour into you now, future you is going to be really pissed and not going to be feeling her best, not going to be looking her best, not going to be in the best mental state of mind, right? And there will be some things that need to be left undone, probably on a daily basis. So I use the example of my evening routine actually being putting the dishes away. But I will go back to the example of the laundry. I view that as very different. My laundry room is down in the basement, so it's not something that I see or it impacts my daily mood, so to speak, as much as something like waking up to a messy kitchen would, right? That may be different for you. I'm just giving you some examples so you can kind of put these things together. But some of these things are undoubtedly gonna have to wait. We can't just do everything at full capacity all the time. Something has to drop entirely, or the degree at which we do it has to change. And, you ultimately have to decide what that is. But what I will say to that note is that you shouldn't be one of the things that is ever dropped. Because without you, none of these other things are going to be able to be done long term. If you never take the time to take care of yourself, you may not be around to be with your kids, to take care of your kids, to spend time with your spouse. So that can never leave the list. The laundry, the tidy living room, or any annoying house chore, just anything, right? Some of that stuff is going to have to wait sometimes. And that also means that sometimes I got to do all that shit and I got to only do a 20-minute workout instead of an hour. Right? Because that's also just the reality of being an adult. And it wouldn't be fair to not also mention that. Okay. Next one that we're going to tackle is this feeling of being burnt out and overwhelmed all the time, right? And this is like when I see the mom guilt starting to backfire because we've been trying to do it all at the cost of our own health and wellness. And this self-sacrifice that we thought was going to make us a better mom actually didn't help us, right? Because if that were the case, and you just had to not do anything for yourself and always do for others and never prioritize yourself whatsoever, then a lot of us moms would be crushing it. But that's not funny and not the reality, right? The reality is that skipping workouts to be there for your kids can just maybe lead to more resentment and you actually being less present when you're there. I'll use myself as an example for this one again too. Like, I need to work out several times a week. I enjoy it. It's a time where I really feel like me. It's a big investment in myself. I also train alone. It's my me time, doing something I love. If I continuously just skip my workouts, I may be there physically more with the family, but I'm not there mentally with the family. I'm in the gym, lifting the weights that I didn't get to lift, ruminating over the fact that I feel like shit because I didn't get to go to the gym. That's where I am. My body may be in the room, but mentally, we're checked out. Okay? Another common one, oh my God, is the overloading of the schedule. The saying yes to everything, right? It may seem like a really great idea in the moment, but then eventually we're just more irritable, run down, tired, and again, not actually more available. We're just busy, right? There's a difference between being busy for the sake of being busy and maybe again like not having great boundaries and just kind of saying yes to everything, being a yes man, than just like busy seasons because the kids have a lot of games, right? There's a difference. So just be aware of where you're spending your time and maybe entertain this idea that you can say no to shit. Crazy. I know. I used to just be like, some of my friends asked me to do something and be like, yeah, okay, of course. But now, as a parent, once I became a wife, honestly, like have less free time to just like chill with my friends and less free time in general, I started to get very selective with what I said yes to. And that has even become even more selective with where I spend my time now that I'm a mom. Right? So I'm just going to leave that one there. Because we can't just say yes to everything. You end up being resentful. You end up being less present. And it's not a good time for anyone. And then it's like, people don't even want to hang out with you. And eventually, you're going to burn out, right? So instead of saying yes all the time to everyone else, let's try maybe saying yes to ourselves a little bit more in whatever capacity that may look like for you right now. And just remember, and something to try, to work on. It's very normal to take up space. In the gym, I'll use the gym as an example to make this a little bit more lighthearted. You deserve to be in the dumbbell section beyond where the 20 and 30 pounds end. You deserve that bench that's over there. You deserve the squat rack, even if you're squatting just the barbell right now. Like, you deserve to take up space. And just because you're a mom or a parent doesn't mean that those needs just vanish, right? Something else to practice. Schedule time for you and try to detach the guilt from it, right? If it's not on the calendar in my life, it's not happening. It's got to be on this calendar, or my girl, SIRR, I'm not going to say her name right now, does it for me, because then she's going to start talking to me. And she puts it on there. It's on the calendar. If you put it on the calendar, you are already like 10 times more likely to make it happen. And that's like not real factual data. It's more anecdotal, but trust me, I've seen it work time and time again with myself and my clients. There is some number to support that. I just don't have it. I don't know the exact data point. Okay, and then last but not least point here is start small and stack habits, right? And again, this goes back to how much time you schedule for yourself, the normalizing, the taking up space. Like, start small, right? If you're taking 0 time right now, start with 5 minutes. And that may seem ridiculous and feel ridiculous to put on the calendar, but you won't do it if you don't. Because if you would, you would already done it. Right? So start small, stack these things onto maybe habits that already exist in your life and let it build from there. But hopefully, as we're nearing the end of this episode, you kind of have a better understanding for why you may feel guilty, what's actually really going on, a couple of mindset shifts that can really help you reframe things, right? Is like, taking care of myself is me teaching my kids to take care of themselves, right? Not, if I take care of myself, I'm failing them. No, it's quite literally the opposite, my friend. Literally the opposite. And keep telling yourself that. And ask for help, right? There's a lot of good nuggets in here, but like, from one mom to another, these are ones that I have to keep reminding myself of and keep utilizing, right? You don't need to do it all. You can't do it all, and you shouldn't do it all. Okay, until next time, my friends. So, as we wrap up this episode, if you're over there thinking, damn, like, I felt this workout, oh my God. Told you, I'd be thinking about the workouts. I felt this episode to the core here. Like, this really hit me. I want to invite you to check out my Fit Like a Mother community. It is quite literally why I created this community, because I don't want you to just listen to this episode, hear what I'm saying, potentially roll your eyes and not do anything or change anything going on in your life right now. I want you to have the tools, the support, and the plan to actually follow through on all of the things that we talked about here today. And inside the Fit Like a Mother community, you are going to get just that. Workouts made specifically for busy moms, short, effective, meant to fit right into your lifestyle with no overthinking, no real thinking on your part, just doing. You are going to have nutrition guidance, not assigning diets, but just like real ways to eat real food that you enjoy and how to make it match up with your health and wellness goals in a very easy way that doesn't feel overwhelming. Wouldn't that be nice? It's literally what I do and what I can help you do. And on top of that, you're also going to get a supportive community because, for example, this topic of mom guilt, like, you're not alone. Everyone in there is struggling with that. Let's join forces together, share things that have worked for one another, and make some changes, right? And there's tons more in there that we're doing. It's a great place to be. It's super supportive. It's fun. It's lighthearted. There's no silly questions. The moms in there are amazing. And it's a topic very, very close to my heart. And I don't want you for one more second to put yourself on the back burner. So I invite you to join me and these other moms inside the community. You can get in right now, Fit Like a Mother. Link is on my website. I will also drop the link below in the show notes. And if you just feel called and ready to stop this feeling of guilt, this cyclical cycle that you can't get off, you want to start feeling good again, you want to be confident in your clothes, you want to have the energy to play around at the playground, and you want to figure out how to make this work amongst the chaos that is motherhood, then let me know. Drop a FLAM in the comments, message me, go to the website, tons of different ways to get the details, and I'll see you inside. And if no one's told you lately, I'm going to tell you, you're doing an amazing job and you matter. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.